Hey guys, it's Benjamin Dane. I play Noah in Struck, and we are here with Struck Live. I am very excited today because we're speaking with Katharine Franco, who plays my TV wife. She plays Elora, Noah's heartthrob in Struck. And I cannot wait to talk to her and share with you that kind of dynamic between Noah and Elora. But I want to talk to you really quickly about following and sharing. It's real important that you guys follow Struck, you share, get the word out, let people know what we're doing here with this upcoming series. It's very ambitious, it's very expensive, it's very arduous in what we're doing, but we so believe in the project. And I know you've seen clips, I know you've seen things, but you can know that we are in it for the long haul and we're ready to do this thing. So as you know, you can see the 5 minute proof of concept there at the site, the website, and that is strucktheseries.com. So you can do that and see that 5 minute proof of concept. But we've got we've got really big pants to fill. We have to present this to distributors starting next month, so you guys can keep us in prayer and just really support us. Let people know what we're doing. Share the site, share the socials. It's real important that you do that. And hey, you can see here, I am wearing some Struck merchandise, and that Struck merchandise is on the website as well. And so what you can do is you can go to strucktheseries.com and find the merch. You can make a statement of faith while helping us, as all proceeds go to help the development of the series. The other thing too is when you go to the site, there is the Lightning Club, and you can click on Lightning Club and become a member. When you share your email address for the Lightning Club, we send you once a month a communique. We promise not to sell you anything else or sell your information off to other people, but what it does is it keeps you informed and lets you know the latest on Struck the series. So the Struck Bolt will arrive every month, once a month, so you can see how to pray for us, how to get involved. And there's some really great articles. I mean, this month, we put a recipe in for those, I think they're called Easter rolls, which I had no idea they existed, but they were pretty cool. And so that was in there. And there's a lot of other stuff too, as well. We have certain dates and things that work out. And, we always inform everyone that's on the Lightning Club. So that's the best way to stay informed. And of course, the socials. And like I said, I'm decked out here in Struck merch, and everything that you purchase on the site, it goes to help the development of the series. But we're giving away a t-shirt. That's what I really wanted to talk to you about. Here's the deal. We really need you guys to get the word out about the series. So we're doing a contest, and this contest is pretty sweet. You get a free t-shirt, and all you have to do is go to strucktheseries/contest, and you can get you can just go to the site and sign up, put your email address in. When you follow us, you get 2 extra entries. When you follow us on Facebook or when you follow us on YouTube, you get 2 extra entries. When you join the Lightning Club, you get 5 extra entries. So what we're just trying to do is get you guys to spread the word. And when you share with family and friends, you get extra entries. So what we're doing, we're trying to get you guys to follow and share and get the word out. And we're going to give you a t-shirt in the process. And this t-shirt's pretty sweet. It's a Struck by God t-shirt. So you can wear it proudly when you go out. And you're going to promote the series. You're making a statement of faith. And it's available in 13 colors. So it's pretty sweet. 13 colors. So you can pick your favorite color when you win. So I wanted to talk about that. But so as you know, the Struck series is basically, it's this epic adventure series. And I mean, it is incredible, you guys, because it is the true story of John D. Morris, who was a geologist, a modern day Indiana Jones, who was struck by God to find evidence of the ark. One of the things that he did is he sacrificed everything. He sacrificed his career and risked it all and did 13 expeditions to Mount Ararat searching for the ark. But he also did a lot of research, and he wanted people to understand that the creation story is real, it's authentic, and it's also documented with evidence in the rock, in the sediments. You can see that layer that happened 4,000 years ago. It's pretty incredible. But he wanted to get the truth out about Genesis, and so we're gonna talk about that in the series. But we're also going to share the true life story of Noah. And Noah was struck by God to build the ark and, of course, save all of creation. So it's pretty sweet. It's a really dynamic two different stories over the annals of time that's going to be splashed across the screen. And I'm talking, you guys, this is such an epic story. But here's the cool thing. Today, I have got new footage that I'm going to share with you guys that we just shared at the Hollywood Prayer Network this week. You guys are going to get to see it for the first time. It's never been released, and it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's really sweet. So I cannot wait to share it with you guys. So let's see. Oh, yeah. You can comment live. Let us know if you've got a question. You can do that. You can write down your question on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll get that question, and hopefully we'll get to it. So I want to check to see who is here. Let's see. Yes, we've got friends on here. Yes, so I can see the comments right now. So say hello, wave at us, and ask us a question. And we're going to get into speaking with Katharine. So let us get on to that. Katharine plays Elora, and Elora is Noah's wife. Now, Noah's wife is mentioned in the Bible, and his three sons are mentioned by name, but Elora is not mentioned by name. So we gave her a name. We gave Noah's wife a name. Elora means light of God. And you guys, there is just this amazing scene between Elora and Noah on the ark. But you got to know it took a strong woman to support his vision and what God had asked him to do. But I would like to welcome to the stage Katharine Franco. Katharine plays Elora.
Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me, Ben.
Oh, you bet, you bet. Well, I'm excited because we there was such a sweet scene that we were able to do, and it was we're hoping to get that scene released really soon because it was all shot in front of a green screen at Capernaum Studios. And Katharine was just amazing. We had a long day that day, if you remember, Katharine, and we were shooting. I was shooting with Cameron Arnett the Asa Noah scene, which is very intense. And then at the end of the day, we were shooting inside the ark, and it was pretty sweet. But yes, Katharine is incredible. And Katharine, I just have a few questions for you, but I want people to really understand really more about you, the actress. Like, tell us how you got started in acting, and tell us a little bit about yourself, your life.
Well, first, I just want to thank you for having me out and just talking to you about Struck the series. And I also want to just give a shout out to Sue Ellen Roberts and Kim Blaquez and Wes and Amanda Llewellyn. You guys are great, and just all the things that you're doing. And Ben, you're not only the actor, you're a producer as well. So you're wearing many hats. So just kudos to you guys. And I feel really, really blessed to be a part of all of this. And by the way, as an actor, can I just say that one of the joys of being an actor is to say, when we went to the Ark that day, who's been on an Ark? Anyone? It's just so much fun. So leading into that, and talking about shooting that day. But yes, to answer your question, it's so strange as a kid. I'm originally from Los Angeles,
Hmm.
And it's a entertainment town. And
Right.
I actually had some grandparents that were involved in the entertainment industry. My grandmother was a musician and a
Oh,
musical director back in the 50s, which, ladies were not usually a musical director. And that was kind of great. And then my grandfather was an actor. That was very peripheral to me. I
mhm.
was not taking classes. I was not somebody who was very outgoing, very shy. And it just developed. I feel like every actor's path is so different, and mine was
Right.
just genetic. Uh, I found out about it much later in life after uh, going to a play. And somebody said, "Hey, do you want to go to a play?" And I watched the play, and their spouse was in it, and her name was Jennifer. And Jennifer said, "Hey, Kat, can you help me with my clothes and my bags after the show?" And I said, "Yes." And I fell in love with the show and the wardrobe and just the creativity. And I think maybe somewhere that was in there because it was never my intention to become an actor in any way, shape, or form. But it's been very helpful in many ways in life to become one. And so once I began, I really couldn't stop. I couldn't stop being a part of plays and musicals. And my
Right.
very
Right.
first musical and first job was Evita at Lyric Stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So you started out doing stage
Mm.
work.
That was my first gig, and then I started taking classes and learning, and it it,
Right.
it was it's a lot. It's a lot harder than people realize, but
It
it's a joy.
is. It is. I don't think people really truly understand what it's like. And it's like the training that you go through, the auditions, the rejection, the headshots, the getting in front of casting directors. It's just it's constant, and you have to keep learning and reading and studying and researching. And every time you get an audition, you've got to start that process all over again, right?
Right. And a lot of times people get stuck when I say, yeah, you might have 5, 10, 15 pages to memorize. Or if you're in a play, it's like it could be, you know,
Yeah,
it can be crazy. And
it
and
can be
you know,
crazy.
just thinking about like speech class maybe in college or high school, people freeze just thinking about that. So let's memorize all these pages and act like it's coming to you for the first time and not being afraid. And they're like, action, go, cry. What? So it is kind of crazy, but it can be addictive in a positive way, to challenge yourself. I feel like
Yeah, it is.
actors are very
I think
challenge
I
driven.
think it's that imagination, like, gift, that tool, you really expand it, because, I mean, sitting in a studio and there's green all around you and you're supposed to be at an arc, you've gotta have a little bit of imagination, to create that atmosphere around you when you've got 30 crew members and all these people staring at you, and you've gotta make it look real. But let me ask you something. I know that you have studied and you have this great relationship with Glenn Morshower. And if you guys don't know, Glenn Morshower is this incredible actor who's been on Transformers, X-Men. I mean, just The Resident, which is a great series that he was on for several seasons. But tell us a little bit more about that dynamic with you guys and studying with him.
Well, shout out to Glenn on his new television series, which is on Apple Television. It's called Manhunt, and he plays the President of the United States, President Andrew
Wow.
Johnson, who takes over after Lincoln is assassinated. We watched it last night together.
Gosh.
Glenn is someone who, well, I don't want to get choked up, but it could happen. So everyone, get your Kleenex out right now. Um, have gone to incredible acting studios, and this was a studio I went to. He opened one about 9 years ago, believe it or not, and he just has so much experience in movies and television, and now video games, international video games, where he's just multi-talented, and he truly wants to help other actors move to that next level. And we are based in Texas. There's a lot of shows happening in Texas now. And it's amazing. But there's a lot of technical things and a lot of information that he really wanted to share to pass on to the next generations of actors. And so his heart is really about the humanity of an actor, what they're trying to communicate, what stories they're trying to communicate to others,
Mhm.
and really taking care of self, which is, I think, is kind of universal,
Yeah.
whether you're an actor or not. Just self-care, taking care of yourself, being positive, in a mindset, and being supportive of others, and all of those fantastic things. He's a beautiful human being.
I love that.
He's a best friend of mine. I mean, he calls me his bestie, and he's my bestie, and just like the heart of it. And he's been very successful in that
You
because
know,
he's coming from that place.
he has really had he has a stellar career, and when everyone wants, it's like when everyone wants a general or a military guy that's saving the world or who's working at the White House, Glenn's at the top of the list. He always gets picked, and but it's really he plays so many diverse roles now. Like The Resident was a completely different role. There was that one show, Bloodlines, I think it was called.
Yes.
I loved him in that because he was kind of a shady character in that one, but he's so believable and so honest. What I love is he's very supportive of the whole acting community. That's what I love about him. Like you said, that's what's amazing to me. That it's tough because there's not a lot of support out there, but he's so supportive and what a wealth of knowledge. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about your career. So tell me about this project.
Oh my goodness. So this is Redstone, and it was just a fantastic experience. It's one of the feature films that I was in, and as you can see, Michael Cutlitz is in it. He's the gentleman with the long beard. He played Abraham in The Walking Dead, and a television series called Clarice, and that is part of the Silence of the Lambs. Kind of, it's become a television series, and he actually played my father. We look nothing alike, but you know what? It worked. He's such a incredibly professional, kind human being. I'm seeing a theme here, folks. If you're good and you're kind and you're generous, look what happens. Neil McDonough, as you can see to the right on the bottom of the screen, he plays the main villain. Well, both of them play villains actually in this film. And if you can see, Michael Cutlitz has some tattoos that they put on his arms around the baby that I had. So I'm having a grandfather, father-daughter moment here with them. But just people, and of course, Neil McDonough is from Band of Brothers, and he's done so many other things. There's
Oh
another
yeah.
movie he's in called Boone.
Yeah.
I found out about this, and that was a straight offer to be part of this feature because I knew of some of the producers from a previous feature film that I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was a film that was very special to me, and I could just cherish it in my car when I was done. Like I did that
Wow.
because I'm working with known actors and just kind of getting my feet wet into all of these
Yeah.
types of
Well, and
levels of
you
acting.
mentioned Neil McDonough, and he was just in The Shift by Angel Studios that just was
Yes.
released. Just an incredible actor, and also, you can tell he's got a heart for people as well. So that had to be an experience working with him.
Absolutely. He was super, super cool. Most of my scenes were with Michael, but they were friends because of Band of Brothers. So
Oh
I
wow.
think Neil brought him in, and then Austin Williams mentioned me to the director and brought me in. And so it is relationship capital, having worked together. If you're good, if you work hard and you develop great relationships
Yeah.
and you're right for the part, then that can happen as well as auditioning. And that was something that I knew about, but this was firsthand experience with
Love
some of
that.
these projects.
Yeah, it really does grow, and people like working with like-minded people. So if you're serious about your career, if you're serious about the business, people get wind of that and they really want you involved in projects. So it's so good to have that working relationship going on. Well, I want to mention several people that are on. We've got Cindy Navarro, we've got Amanda Llewellyn, who is
Hi.
on. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. We've got Sue Ellen Roberts, who is on. Violetta Ortega is on.
Oh
Eric
my
Pitstick is
goodness.
on. Let's see. We've got several people on. That's great. Yeah. And you guys, if you've got any questions, please let us know what they are and we'll try to answer them. So that's great. So I just want to mention that really quick. But so let's get on. I would love to show. Sue Ellen says, Katharine, you have an amazing career. So that's really cool. I'm going to
Thank
plug
you,
in my.
Suellen. Thank you, Violetta and Erica. And who else was it? All
Amanda.
of you. Amanda. Oh, Amanda. Oh, let me tell you, when we start talking, I was going to bring her up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we've
Yeah.
we've got several folks here, which is great. But I want to also share with you. Just tell us a little bit more about your career and some of the other roles that you've played.
So, I've done a few different things. One of the big things, one of them was Potter's Ground, and that was an independent feature film. It was very difficult to make. It was done in February in Nashville and in Kentucky. So we were working outdoors in the elements. Most of our scenes were night scenes, and it was close to freezing. So it was usually between like 30 to 39 degrees. It was tough. I had an accent. This was a Mexican accent, and she was someone who was leading the men to treasure, which is so Indiana Jones, and I loved it so much. I was not the damsel in distress. And it's just fun. I got to do fight choreography and try doing that in a corset, folks, where there's boning around your torso and you have to bend so when you fall
Oh my
backwards you don't
God.
hit your head. um, that was fantastic. It was just fun. The other one was I played a mom who was coordinating with her kids, and it looked like somebody was coming into the home to get her with a knife,
Wow.
and it ended
Wow.
up being her kids that surprising her for her birthday, and had a knife, the knife that they were referring. It's all about editing and music and all these types of things. So the bottom was a thriller. The other one's a Western. Um, Saved by Grace, bottom left corner. That
Wow.
was the first time I worked with Cameron Arnett.
Oh, wow.
And we were in Arkansas. And you guys, I mean, this is so funny how everybody ends up seeing each other and working with each other. Saved by Grace is also a faith-based television series, and I was cast as one of the moms of one of the characters. And it's really just a lot of family discussion about various topics. And I was really grateful to be part of that series and meet Cameron for the first time. So I was pleasantly delighted to see Cameron in Struck. And that was just a blast. And some
Yeah.
of these others, I'm a mom here to the right with the gun, and her child's going to be taken away, and she
That
gets a
looks
little crazy.
intense. That looks
Yeah,
real intense.
yeah, sometimes we have to pray harder, and she
Yeah.
obviously didn't that morning. Um,
Oh my God. Poor lady.
and
Well, I've
some of
got,
these stronger roles, like on top, that woman's
yeah.
very intense, and she looks like she's got some things to say. So
Is that the Western you were talking about?
that's one of the shots from the Western. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, so I've got some questions for you. Let's see. Let's see. Deborah Moore says, love Struck. Erica says, incredible cast. Lucy Odell has a question for Katharine. Have you ever played any other historical characters?
That's a great question. I would say hi, Lucy Odell, aka Mom. Hi, Mom.
Oh, mom. That's
Hi,
mom.
Marla. She's the coolest mom. I have to be honest. I would say that this would have been my first. This is
Wow.
my first historical character, and you guys named them for me. So thank you for naming Elora. I think it's really important to kind of talk about that dynamic, and I'm so glad that there is space to touch on it. But yes, Elora would be my first
Oh
historical character.
wow, very cool, very cool. I think it's interesting because you've played a diverse amount of characters, and it's that thing that you have, that the look that I think that's so versatile. You kind of have that global look where you can play several different ethnicities, and I love that. And one of the things that when we were casting for Alora, we were looking for a really solid, earthy, but beautiful lady that was going to support, Noah and his dream and his vision. And here you are.
Thank you. I wanted to bring up our audition together, and for the people at home who just want to kind of know about that process. Normally, you'll go to a building location, and for me, I ended up and lately, post pandemic, we're auditioning sometimes and more commonly on Zoom. And but we can do it with a reader live. And in this particular case for Elora, when I was auditioning, of course, there's all kinds of other fantastic actors or actresses in this case going out for the same role. And Wes and Amanda Llewellyn were there, obviously, and Mr. Benjamin Dane was Noah. And you're like, here's Benjamin, he's your husband, go.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? So I will say that, speaking of generosity and just kindness with the big players, Ben was very generous. I'm going to tell you, Ben, because we did a couple of takes. Wes and Amanda were like, okay, great. Are we ready to move on? Meaning, next, and not in a negative way. That's how that works. And Ben goes, I think we should do one more.
Mm.
And I said, would you like to do one more? Well, if Noah says, would you like to do one more? You say, absolutely. So we went through our scene again, and there was such a connection. And I just felt like all the feelings. And Wes, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Amanda, but there was some tears coming from her at the end of our audition. And we were so locked in
Yeah.
that it just felt really good. And I thought, you know what, even if I don't get this audition and I'm not Elora, that felt good. It felt
It,
really,
it was
really good.
really, yeah, and it was very interesting, Catherine, because what had happened was that Wes and Amanda were in Georgia. I was in Dallas. You were in Dallas, but we were doing it over basically Zoom, and so they could see both, us reading the roles and doing the audition. So it was really cool to do that, and then I think it was interesting because when we were actually shooting that scene last year, there was so much more dynamics there. There had been really, I think, even on the set, there was just this whole different feeling because you're actually there on the arc. And I don't know, but to me, everything is, there's so much information about Noah building the ark, but as far as that relationship with his wife, there's not a lot there. So I know Amanda and Wes are very excited about exploring more of who Alora was and what she brought. Um, the strength, really, the strength, right? The strength behind Noah and what he was called to do. She had to kind of bevy up, and it's amazing. I know Amanda was telling me one time, she's like, she had to get all the supplies together. I mean, Noah and the sons were probably building the ark, and there may have been some other people, but she had to gather all the supplies, the food. She had to prepare all the linens and get all of her stuff, her home, bring it into the ark. I mean, there's a lot there, but she also had to support her husband.
Yes, and that's one of the fun things. I felt like it was such a gift, and it was also just interesting to delve into that with Amanda, because she spoke to me about this, and we
Mhm.
kind of talked about that creativity, what was required before the building and what happened in that time frame while they're in the ark. And there had to have been a process, right? There had to have been a cleanup duty for the animals, for us. What was the logistics of food? Where did they sleep? And if anyone usually runs a household, normally, I mean, there's exceptions to everything, but women are doing those things. It's part of that role, and it's all about partnership and mutual respect and working together to create a common goal. And this is what they did very successfully together. And just breaking that down, and what does that look like, so that when
Yeah.
my dialogue comes in the scenes that relate to Noah with you, it's in all of that is imbued with an intentionality and a feeling of support, because these people have lost their neighbors and their friends, and it's a whole new life. And anytime, these are human beings, anytime we experience change, I don't care what it is, it's a kid going off to college, it's someone about to have a child for the first time,
Yeah.
anytime we have change in our life, it's scary. And this was really scary, I'm sure, and that leads into the faith of just following through, going ahead and following through, and just having that support and partnership for each other. Was really a wonderful conversation. So thank you, Amanda. And just working through that process in the scenes.
It had to be, when, as an actor, of course, you have to do your research and kind of figure out what the time period was like, what the surroundings, what the environment was like. And what these people were really going through. And like you said, I mean, they had to deal. They lost everything. They lost their friends. There could have been other family members that they had to leave behind that didn't thought they were Looney Tunes and didn't want to get on the ark. Um, the Bible talks about Noah in several different settings and several different books. In the New Testament, they said that he was an evangelist, that he was really trying to save these people, and they just thought he was nuts. I mean, for building this huge boat, for it took him 100 years to build it. But to have a wife to stand by him and support him, and then, you know, Amanda and Wes did this incredible thing when they wrote that scene of it brought humanity to these characters, because they're just like you and I. They weren't saints. They weren't like perfect people. They had
Wait a
flaws.
minute. Come on. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I
But I
mean,
mean,
no,
you
yeah,
have to think about that,
we're
that
flawed,
they
all of us.
lost
Yeah.
it all. And I love this scene because it is like he is so torn apart because he felt like he could have done more and he didn't succeed. And the only people on the ark are those 8 family members that are on the ark. And then you comfort, and you speak into him. And I love that my character Noah says, you are God's light in my life. That's like my favorite. I love that line. It's my favorite line. Thank you, Amanda and Wes. I love that line. But it describes who you are, Elora, in the story.
Yes. So Elora is, I just feel like there's a nurturing, empathetic person in her. And I think anyone who has a family, they want to love and protect. And that's part of,
Mhm.
of who we are.
Yes.
And I feel like there's private moments that we don't share with everyone else. And to have that moment aside with each other, to have these more intimate conversations, especially leading the way as parents when we have 3 sons and their daughters. um, Maybe we don't want to have those conversations with them at that time. I mean,
Yeah.
this is right after we got into the ark, and this is going to be a long journey, and we don't know how long it's going to be. also.
No,
And so, yeah, it's
and the
mhm.
series is going to cover like never before what their life was like, what they had to give up, what they had to do, how they had to build the ark, and then once they got on the ark, what life was like then. I want to mention that we're working with geologists and scientists and paleontologists and all this incredible group of scientists that have done so much research on a pre-flood era and what it was like. So we're going to bring all of that into the series so that these are not just guesses. It's a formulated theories of what really life was like back then. So it's pretty incredible. I'm so excited about being involved with this. Well, I promised some new footage, so I'm going to get back to Katharine because I've got some other questions, and actually we've got some people that are asking some questions for you, Katharine. So hang
Hey.
in there. But I want to show people really this is the open, and it introduces our two characters, John D. Morris, and it introduces Noah. So you guys enjoy.
We need to get out of the storm!
And go where? We're in the middle of a storm cloud!
I need to find shelter!
Maybe we should go back! Get out of here!
No! No, we've come too far!
Well,
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow. I just got chills because there was a lightning bolt right outside my window, right in front of me here. And it's raining while that
It's
was happening.
it's surround sound.
It was. This is exciting. It's just a tiny appetizer to get us ready for the main course. And I'm kind of blown away. I love what you guys have done. I've never seen this before.
You know, I just saw it when we shared it with the Hollywood Prayer Network, and I just thought that the whole team did such a great job. The arc is phenomenal. What Wes did, also on the when God is talking, and I mean, it just is phenomenal. And you know, of course, we don't know what it was like, but we can make a good guess that that Noah he downloaded that vision of what God had given him. And I love the fact that he has to get it down on paper. You know, he's seeing it and he has to get it down on paper. So he runs to his workshop to get it down on paper so he can just, you know, figure out what is this thing. And when he sees it, then the audience sees what Noah is seeing and sees this ark. And it just is so powerful. So
I think it's really brilliant because normally there's a full-on conversation, which may or may not happen later on in the series, but this was something that left us wanting to know what's next and to see it happen instead of hear it happen, and go from the drawing to the actual arc. So we're seeing the blueprint, and then it goes into that powerful experiencing forging forward into the ocean. It's forging forward. Your mind as Noah is forging forward. It's kind of in synchronicity of that. That is really powerful to see as well. So I love how it was done, because there was a lot of different ways it could have been made. And this
I love it. And you know what a lot of people don't realize is that there had never, until the flood, there had never been rain. You know, water, it said that water came up from the earth and that there never had been rain. So when Noah has that one drop of water, you know, that's when it is revealed to him what's going to happen to the earth. It's just powerful. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be huge. It's going to be so, you know, mammoth. But yeah, so we wanted to share that, and you guys are the first to see it. Well, the second to see it, because we did premiere it at a closed gathering this week at Hollywood Prayer Network. But yeah, so now everyone can see that footage. But I'm so excited about it. Well, let's see what people are saying. Let's see. Hold on. Deborah Moore says, "Wow, one drop of inspiration for Jehovah, and Noah's life was never again the same." Amanda says, it is the one teardrop from the Father. You know, he had to destroy the world. You know, he had to destroy his creation. So I love that inference there. Oh, Wes and Amanda, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. That's very kind. Let's see. Oh, Susan Rodriguez says, I felt like I was there. That's so cool. Mary Faye Jackson says, fantastic, incredible footage. Cindy says, Amanda said, I wrote Noah as an artist, someone that observed nature and expressed it through his art. So cool. Okay, so there's some questions for you. Violetta says, amazing.
Thank you.
Susan says, stellar. So someone had asked, let's see. Oh, Fahim says, I'm here to support Kat.
Thanks, Fahim. And also happy belated birthday, Violetta.
Oh, happy birthday, Violetta.
Happy birthday.
Let's see. Pamela says, when is the series coming out? So we really, like I said earlier, we are actually, what you saw is the first part of an expanded, I want to say trailer, but it's not really a trailer. It's an expanded presentation of the series that will go out to distributors starting next month. So we are seeking distribution. And it's going to be much like The Chosen. It's going to be a streaming series that will be available on some sort of platform, and we just don't know what that is yet. So I say this, we're pulling back the curtains so you guys can see the process of creating this, but we need you guys to support us, get the word out, help us, because when we go to distributors, it's going to help us showing that there's people that really want to see this happen and make this series a reality. So that's part of it. Someone had said, I'm going to find your question again. Where is it? Okay, hold on. I'm going.
As you're doing that, I wanted to give a shout out to Calvary Chapel Rosemead, Pastor Frank, Pastor Rudy. Thank you for talking to me this week and just being so supportive. That's awesome. So many supportive people out there.
Yeah, it is. It's, we've experienced that too. There's so much support, so much excitement for getting a series like this on screens, and it helps, at every level, having that support and prayer. And so someone had asked, Violetta actually asked, how is your process? How do you prepare for a role, Kat?
Good question. Usually what I do is I just try to see what the objective is. What is the main point of the scene?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which is also supportive of the entire script. But what is the absolute point? Why are we having this conversation? Why is it happening now? What is your feeling about the situation? And once you know that this is a scene about, in this case, it's a scene about love, because you're giving love to your loved one, your husband or your children, but in this case, husband. And what do you want to have as a result of this conversation? And that can be for any kind of role and any kind of genre. Why are you saying it, and what are you fighting for? Because usually there's two opposing sides in a scene. There's one view and there's another view, and usually one is advocating for their perspective, and you're getting someone on your side. So in prepping for this, as Elora to Noah, I want him to see that he is powerful and that there is hope, and he's done a great job. And this is more of an encourager, a cheerleader, a nurturer, but with strength. I felt like with a lot of dignity and respect,
Mm-hmm.
encouraging him in that way. And usually I'll try a few different options, not just one way of doing things, to see what's going to be the more powerful way. And you usually feel it better that way. And there's us with the green screen in the arc.
That's what it really looks like. It won't, people won't see that part.
I
They'll
really
see.
hope there's a chicken just playing.
We had. Do you remember the pen of pigs? I don't know if you remember the pen of pigs that were there when Noah's stomach wasn't agreeing with him. Yeah. You remember that part?
It's an important part.
That's going to be in there too. I don't want to give too much of it away. But no, it's so tell us a little bit more about the dynamic between Noah and Elora, and really, I know we talked about it a little bit, but when you prepared for this role, and we had the audition and all of that, but it takes on a different shape when you're actually there on set. So what was your inspiration there on set?
On set, as most sets are, it's a lot of work. Sometimes it goes longer. That's pretty normal. Sometimes it's on time. It just depends. I saw the scene, Ben, that you did with Cameron prior to our scene, and the level of professionalism and intensity that was happening in that scene put me in a different space. Obviously, I prepare and I go through it in my mind over and over and over, and just kind of feel the environment. And then boom, we were there in the arc, but we've got all that green screen. So just for me to focus, and then your conviction and your eyes and your emotion, all of that you were feeding me. And so just locking into that, I naturally am a cheerleader for people. And I naturally am very nurturing. I mean, ask my dogs. They don't nurture. I mean, I'm like, Mom, I'm so
If
nurturing.
only
So,
they could talk, right?
but I'm a hard love woman too. So it's just like, just in finding those places in myself to
Yeah.
give to someone who is so broken in that moment and normally so strong, normally so resolute and focused, and the follow through to see
Right.
this
Right.
side. I knew he was really hurting. So I think you just take pieces of yourself and put that into the character.
I think what's really interesting too is Noah is just, in the scene, he's broken. He's just really broken. And he feels the weight of what he was called to do, but also those lives that were lost and that world that was lost. And he's in turmoil, and you're his saving grace. I mean, uh, the, when you walk into the scene, when you walk up to Noah, it's like his demeanor changes because of your light and your love, and you bring such comfort and peace to him. And yes, we should rely on the Lord for strength, but we also need, as a husband, I needed that support of my wife in that moment, and only you can bring that peace and that support to me in that moment. I just love that conversation. And you said you got a lot from me. I got a lot from you. Just your love and tenderness in that scene. I mean, you guys, I cannot wait for you to see the scene and see Katharine in it, because it's very powerful.
Thank you. In some fun outtakes, because I'm such a cheesy person. I mean, I love having fun. I so wish there was an outtake where I had hair and there was just wind blowing, and then, and we can make it like a telenovela. And then you can see Cameron Spooner. He's got this incredible wig
Yeah.
with jewelry in it and super long. And in between takes, I looked at him and I said, Cameron, I said, we have got to do a Milli Vanilli dance in between takes.
Yeah.
And he died laughing because I was just
That's
like, look at
funny.
you. He looked incredible. And he thought it was so funny. And then we were going to do it, but it was right before our scene. And I thought, no, you know what? That's going to throw me off. We're going to be laughing. It's we can't do that. We can play later and do this. But for now, let's focus. And so,
So funny.
just
So
keeping
funny.
things light on the set and connecting with one another. We're all virtually strangers a lot of times, and we're thrown in these crazy situations. And it's like,
Yeah.
here you go. This is your husband. You had 3 children, and action, and you're like,
No.
hi, what's your last name again? So it was really, really fun. And just, the Love Boat,
Yeah.
the arc,
Love Boat. That was the first Love Boat, I think.
it was the
right?
first Love Boat. And I mentioned Captain Steuben didn't make it on the ship, so they had to do
No.
another version of it in the 80s and scene.
We lost the captain,
We
unfortunately.
lost him, yeah.
Yeah.
These are
But-
older references. Yeah, I mean, look
Yeah.
at the hearts in her eyeballs there.
Oh, I know. It's such, like I said, you brought so much to that role, and there's that strength, that's there, that in that time of brokenness for Noah, Elora just really comforts him. And it's interesting. I love the way the scene is written, because once you come on and you reach out to Noah with love and tenderness and understanding, he begins to really strengthen his faith. And he says, I think, we're going to do this, together we can do this. And, you encourage him, and it's such a sweet, sweet scene. And you think, what was their life really like? Because no one talks about that. No one talks about life on the ark. They had to feed these animals, but they also had to live, and they had to start all over again. So it's such a really amazing look at their humanity, I think.
I'd like to think that in order to keep their mindset where it needed to be, of course, they're going to have their prayer time and everything, but maybe, they have stories to tell and songs to sing together and creating schedules for worship and setting
Mhm,
schedules for special
mhm.
meals. Oh my gosh, how cute. I love it. This is over in the wardrobe and makeup
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
And I don't recall seeing this photo. So this
I
is
don't
fun.
I don't know if that was after or before. I don't know. I'm not
I
sure.
can't recall because we're not in costume.
We look
So
pretty fresh, so it may have been at the
yeah,
beginning of the day.
the after photos are not that great, guys.
Yeah.
After like
Oh,
however
man.
many
I
hours of being on
there
set.
was we had so much hay that I got hay fever, and I
Is this
couldn't
a joke?
stop. I mean, it was like,
Oh
all
no,
in
that's
my
seriously.
sinuses, so
Oh,
no, I was definitely all puffy and nasty looking at the end of the day, but you looked amazingly well, I'm gonna say, Catherine. You always look great.
thank you. Well, Elora has been through a lot, and you can see
Yeah,
it in the scene, and you can tell. I mean, we've been through a lot,
a
so we're
lot.
not really supposed to look our best then, but yeah, I mean, I had dirt on my face. The makeup artist knew what to do, and it's just part of the process. But it's again, it's telling a story. It's creating a human
Yes,
connection where
yes.
people can relate in some way. We've all
Well,
been stranded in some way in our
yeah,
life, right?
in
And
some
we
way.
need
I think
people.
everyone's gonna be able to relate to these 2 people, and their humanity and what they were called to do. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. Well, unfortunately, our time's up, and it goes by so fast, but I wanna thank Catherine for being on, and thank you so much. You are an amazing actress, and I feel privileged to work with you on this, and I cannot wait for Noah and Elora's story to continue and to expound. And stay tuned. So I hope we can share that scene really soon. But thank you so much, Catherine, for joining us today. So appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben. And I will be checking things out on the social media pages and on the website, and strucktheseries.com is below. So I'm looking forward to seeing little snippets here and there. I am seeing things for the first time, just like everybody else is today. So it was a good time. Thanks
All
again.
right. Thanks so much, Catherine. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye. All right, so there you have it. Incredible actress. Gosh, it feels so great to talk. We haven't really spoken that much since we shot all those scenes, so it's great speaking with her and chatting with her about Elora and Noah. Well, let me just tell you guys really quick. I can wrap this up really fast, but again, want to tell you about the t-shirt contest. Make sure you go to strucktheseries.com. Make sure you click on contest, enter the contest to win a t-shirt, 13 colors. You get to pick your color. It's great. Struck by God t-shirt. But the more you do, the more you spread the word, the more chances you have to win the shirt. So want to let you guys know about that. And of course, the merchandise. There's all kinds of things. There's embroidered caps, and there's bags, and there's bottles, and there's mugs, and there's all kinds of stuff there. So you can go to strucktheseries.com, click merchandise, and everything that you guys do, every purchase you make helps us with the development of the series, because all the proceeds go immediately to the series. But we want to thank you guys for being involved. And I just appreciate you guys joining us. Now, I will tell you that next month, we do these once a month. There's a very, very special guest. Not going to reveal who it is, but you got to stay tuned. You got to come back next month for the next Struck Live, and you'll get to see who that is. And maybe we'll kind of give you a sneak peek later on. But you got to stay tuned and just stay involved and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you guys get the word out. But we're trying to do everything we can because we believe in this project. We believe in you guys, and we cannot wait for you to see just a glimpse of what this story is all about as we release more footage and we kind of get the ideas out there so you can see them. But support us at strucktheseries.com and all the socials. We really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we will see you soon.